Hate the reboot. Hey everybody, welcome back to my world where no matter how old you get, you never need to grow up. Okay, so today, in my giant haul of me buying somebody else's collection, there was a Gooliope Jellington, and her box is just completely beat up, falling apart. Now, we still have our Gooliope Jellington doll from Freak du Chic, but Ghouliope belongs to Caden and is in Caden's collection, therefore not in my collection. Yes, we live in the same house, but Ghouliope is in his doll area room, not any of mine. So, Gooliope Jellington was the first time that Mattel and Monster High made a doll of this size. So she is, I guess, like 17 inches. You know, I should have checked that right before I started filming. But, so she is tall. That's Ghouliope's thing. She's also she's kind of like, I would say she's sort of the, a little bit like Daughter of the Blob, but she's also frightfully tall. Now, I just happen to have handy 3 of my prized possessions, and that would be the frightfully tall ghouls. So this is a frightfully tall Draculaura, and these were made in 2015, and as you can see, much taller than, I think these are 17 inches. And they are faithfully reproduced of the originals. So, like, everything about her outfit, you know, like the boots, the fishnets, the skirt, the top. So she's even got a little bit of lace. You know, fishnets here. She's got her earrings, her makeup, her hairstyle. Look at how beautiful. It's like when they made them on a bigger scale, it's somehow, to me, especially with the faces, just really highlighted just how incredibly beautiful and unique these dolls were. And these are definitely a prized possession. They sit on a special shelf, so when I'm sitting at my desk, they're on my shelf and they're posed. Now, the coolest thing about these, in addition to just the size and the scale, just really bringing home the awesomeness of Monster High, is that they have all the articulation of the original dolls, plus this. They have waist articulation, so you can pose them in really, really interesting ways. So it makes for me to be able to have some really cool ways that I seat them on my shelves. So that's really cool. So this is the Frankie, and she's, I think, her face most of all just really brings home the beauty and the uniqueness that is Monster High, and that was Monster High. I mean, that iconic red Frankie lip, the 2 different color eyes, just this really bold face, and then her just adorable schoolgirl outfit, but with all of the freaky, fabulous touches and the skullettes and the studs and the chains, and then, of course, Frankie's iconic shoes. She's got the stitches. She's got the little bit of tulle at the edge of her dress. I mean, she's just, you know, she's got the bolts. Like, everything was just faithfully reproduced. The only thing that's a little bit weird about these dolls is that because of the scale, the weird curve that was kind of always there in the smaller dolls looks weirder. And so it looks like they have the world's worst posture. So... But it's okay, I can get past that. And then Clawdeen. Now, they also made an Elizabeth. So originally they were going to make a Laguna, but because Fright's Camera Action was coming out that year, and she was going to be like a main character in Fright's Camera Action, they ditched Laguna to make an Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is just a purple Draculaura. I never got frightfully tall Elizabeth. Now, some people absolutely adore their frightfully tall Elizabeth. She's one of their treasured possessions. But to me, I was just kind of like, no. Now, a frightfully tall Ghoulio would have been appreciated. But of course, Ghoulia was never going to get that level of love. But so here's Clawdeen. And out of all of them, her hair is the most kind of problematic because it, over the years, does have some sort of product, or I don't even know if it's glue seepage, but it's definitely getting weird over the years. And I think it's slightly different colors than the original Clawdeen doll. But look at that face. Come on. She's so pretty, and a nice fur, collar, her adorable little skirt with her belly showing on her shirt, and then her iconic Clawdeen boots. Of course, we've got clawed hands and all of that stuff. And then her hair, as you can see, her hair is, it's gorgeous. It's just getting a little, it's like a little tacky. No, I don't mean tacky in like a bad way tacky. I mean tacky in like a sticky way. And it's interesting because I know that Clawdeen9 has, and other people have speculated in some of their videos about the return of Monster High, because I refuse to call it reboot, because then that gives us all flashbacks to the horror that occurred when they tried to reboot the franchise. That in the artwork that Mattel is using, and like that they used for their investor call and some different things, sorry, I'm just getting the position so they can sit, that they showed the artwork of Clawdeen where in her original artwork, we will start unboxing Gooliope Jellington. I love Gooliope's art too. Look at how pretty she is. Look at that. That's like a tattoo, man. That is gorgeous. And the cool thing about the way she was packaged is that she's like scrunched down in the box, and then where her hands are pressing against the box, you see the shatter marks? Like she's trying to break out of the box. So it would have been really cool to have her and keep her in box. This box is so jacked, it's like Ghouliope wants out. So I'm gonna let her out. But we're gonna talk about the return as we do that. So she was shown with the headband, and also in some of their teaser pictures, there's like a picture of Clawdeen coming out of a coffin, and it's Clawdeen's sleeve. I mean, like, look at that. Look at how easy that came off. It's Clawdeen's sleeve, and skin color, but it's a human hand. And so people are trying to, I want to save this somehow. People are trying to kind of make some sort of an argument that perhaps this means that when they do the return, that there's going to be, that Clawdeen is going to be able to kind of shift between werewolf form and human form. And I don't think that's the case for a couple of reasons. One, I have been to enough Mattel events where I have seen them use old, outdated artwork on giant displays. It's like the art department has no clue. There's a folder on a shared drive somewhere, and they just grab stuff. Like, I have no idea. We at Toy Fair 2 years ago, 2019 Toy Fair. We walked in, and they had this sort of like hallway that they built out of these like giant, like maybe like 12-foot high panels with all of their doll lines. Just this huge, you know, like Barbie and Polly Pocket and DC superhero girls and whatever. And my 3 ghouls were on there. Frankie and Draculaura and Clawdeen were on there, and the Monster High logo was on there. And we got so excited, and we went running around looking for Isaac, who's, you know, in charge of marketing, and I was looking for Dominic, who isn't there anymore, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know, because I took that to mean something. And when I asked, I was like, oh, should I take this as a hint of something that's going to happen this year? And they stood there looking at it, and they were like, oh yeah, look at that. They're like, no, that's just like really old artwork. I'm not even really sure why that's on there. I was crushed. How does that happen? You're Mattel. It's your Toy Fair booth. Nobody looked at the giant panels and went, hey, we don't make that anymore. So what I'm trying to say is I would not put any stock in any images that they used in their presentation or that their social media team is currently using as part of their teasers. Like, I'm not even sure that's the real logos, quite honestly. You know, really. We won't know until we know is what the deal is when it comes to Mattel. You don't know until you see it. And so that's the first reason why I don't think that that's going to be the thing that happens. The second reason why I don't think that they are going to do that with Clawdeen is because, let me think about this. I don't think any of the other ghouls or monsters can change unless you want to count Jackson Jekyll and Holt Hyde. Holt Hyde and Jackson Jekyll, same body. Jackson Jekyll, when he's Jackson Jekyll, is essentially human, essentially. But then when the music plays, he turns into Holt Hyde. So they do let him transform between a normie appearance and a monster appearance. They do that. Is there anyone else on the show who transforms between a human and a monster appearance? I mean, Headmistress Bloodgood, Headless Headmistress Bloodgood looks human, except for the fact that her head pops off. Does that count? Now I gotta start thinking about this. But I think that that would kind of, I don't know. I don't know that that would fit Clawdeen's personality. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming what they're going to make Clawdeen's personality, you know, in the reboot is going to be at least somewhat similar to, hello. Excuse me. Pardon Ghouliope piece behind. I mean, I think that, I'm hoping that their personalities are going to be somewhat the same. I really liked Clawdeen's sassy personality, but I hope they don't do, I hope they don't do a My Little Pony where they just completely, just take, you know, jettison and this is one of the cool things about Ghouliope. She had a giant stand. The Frightfully Tall Ghouls, no giant stand. Ghouliope, giant stand. And you're all like, no, I don't remember them having giant stands. Okay, so, like, I mean, like, the transformation in Rainbow Dash between G, what was it, G3 and G4, I'm bad with my Gs, G5, I don't know. Rainbow Dash back in the Minty days was more like Rarity. And do you remember the accent and the darling? Do you remember that? Okay. So, and believe me, I didn't mind the change, but it's weird when they take characters like with names and appearances and then like completely change their personality when they reboot something. That's like, what? So, I don't know. But I mean, they kind of did that in the reboot, which is also why I don't like the reboot. They got rid of Ghoulia. They gave us a zombie character named Monica, who really didn't look much like a zombie, except for that she was gray. They took away all the cool things about Ghoulia, right? And then they made Frankie the tech person because electricity. Hate the reboot! Oh! Okay, her hair is jacked. That is some bad hair. But, so I hope that they're not going to do that. I hope that we get, you know, somewhat similar personalities. Maybe Frankie could be a little less whiny. I don't know. This is so weird because Frankie is like, I love her doll, but like as a character, like sometimes she got on my nerves. I don't know. And then I would have to remind myself, well, she's like only like 16 days old or whatever. So, you know, and then after a while I'd be like, no, she's not 16 days old anymore. She's been around for like 5 years. Come on. Oh, wow. This is, oof. All right. Give me a second. So I am hoping that we get sort of similar personalities, maybe with a little bit more of a modern twist, a little less you know, however we were back then. I mean, like, I've noticed just, Bill and I have been rewatching, different shows that we've enjoyed in the past. And what's amazing to us is, really, don't do this with doll hair with glue in it. I really should not be doing this, but it's so jacked, and I'm going to wash it anyway, so. Because now I'm just combing goo through Gooliope's hair. But just because it's really jacked. Yeah. Oof! Oof! Ooh and fa. So, like, right now we're rewatching Suits. And it's very interesting. Like, Suits is from 2000s, right? 2010s? I think 1990 was 10 years ago, so. Just, you'll have to excuse me. I like, even now, like, it's 20 years ago, people were like, no, Melissa, it's not. But just, so I'm watching Suits, and, it's so funny because, you know, seeing Meghan Markle and, like, you know, back the way Meghan Markle was before she was Meghan Markle, and everybody was, like, all up in her business. But, like, the stuff that people did on TV shows as far as, like, the things that they said to each other and the way women were treated and the way workplace environments were shown, I'm like, my jaw's on the floor. And this isn't like a movie this isn't a TV show made in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s. This show isn't that old. I have to look it up, but maybe it was in the 2010s. And I'm like, wow. You know, anytime you think that we haven't come very far, that we're still like really screwed up, just go watch a show from like 10 years ago and see how much better we are. I mean, just like the homophobia on some shows from 10 years ago, you're like, how did you think that was okay, man? And like, you know, jokes about guys dressing in drag and just like, and just like, it's just, Okay, so Gooliope Jellington is, there she is. She's so tall. She's so tall. Let me just grab Clawdeen right here. There we go. There you go. Clawdeen's knees are bent. Stand up straight, girl. I'm all bent because you sat me down. So there you go. See? Same height. So basically what they did was they created a body that was, you know, this height and then applied it to these dolls because Gooliope also can do this, which is awesome. And so let's take a look at her. She's so fun. Freak du Chic's one of my favorite releases because they really just thought out some really unique looks for the dolls in the Freak du Chic line. So here we go. Gooliope Jellington. Look at how beautiful she is. I love her eyes. I love these looped eyelashes and these little dots. Oh, and so, oh, she's not the blob. That's right. She's, well, the blob wasn't the blob caused by radioactivity? So she's got the little radioactive sign in her eyes. But I think the blob was caused by radiation because in the 50s, you know, we were all, well, I was not alive, but, you know, it was all about the bomb and how radiation was going to destroy everything in the 50s and 60s. And look at this. She's got the Calliope. You're like, what? Her name is Gooliope because goo, but this is, it's not exactly what a Calliope organ looks like, but her headpiece is a Calliope. Go look it up. It's so cool. And then her earrings are like tokens that you get like in an arcade. That's what they always reminded me of. And then her outfit is so pretty. It looks like a circus tent or more of a carnival tent than a circus tent. But they didn't go with just black and white colors. We've got gold in here. It's so pretty. And you'll notice subtly here and there, we've got a radioactivity symbol and a skullette. Like just those little details, and then this sort of frayed look at the bottom as if she grew and the clothes ripped. And then her skin, her pink, Pepto-Bismol pink skin, and that's where I'm getting Blob vibes from. She's gooey because she's got all her toxic waste goo, you know, on her. And then her shoes, look at this. I wish that they had made a carnival set to go with Freak de Chic, and we could have gotten this carousel, a carousel with skeleton animals. How cool would that? It would have been like the, what was it called? Was it called the Night Carriage? What was it called in Harry Potter? What were they called? The, those horses. Oh, I can't remember the horses. Luna Lovegood could see them. The skeleton horses, they were so cool. Oh my gosh. I just, I didn't own the Harry Potter movies in digital. I only own them on DVD. And I don't even know where my DVDs are. I think they're in the attic, which means they're probably completely melted at this point. And they had a bundle for sale on Amazon recently where you could get all of the Harry Potter movies for like 65 bucks or something. It was a really good deal. So I'm gonna spend a weekend, maybe Memorial Day weekend is gonna be Harry Potter weekend for me. And I know that J.K. Rowling is problematic when it comes to homosexuality, transgender, and generally inclusivity, diversity, racism, and all of those things. But I also can separate her from the amazing world that she created and what it meant to so many people, including myself. So anyway, so this is Gooliope Jellington, and I love her. I love her so much. Her hair is just this great, like, I mean, it's nasty right now, but her hair goes so well with her makeup. We've got this kind of like toxic yellow color and this bright pink, and it just ties in so beautifully with her face and her skin color. It's just so cool. Like, I love this doll so much, and I know that Caden did, and that's why Caden has Gooliope in the lair, you know? He didn't keep a lot of the dolls, but this one we kept. And I love her facial mold because I'm feeling like her facial mold is... It's just really cool. Like, look at that profile. Oh, love you, girl. Love you. Love those dark lips, too. Yeah. And I forgot she's got like these plastic epaulets, which I'm not too in love with. They would have been better as cloth. But anyway, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if they made a carnival? Oh, that would be so cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed meeting Gooliope. If this is your first time ever meeting Gooliope, you can find her on eBay. Not so often in box, but usually out of box and maybe missing a few pieces. But she's really, really cool, and she's beautiful, and she's really awesome. And I'm sorry for all of the Elizabeth fans that I do not have an Elizabeth. Sorry about that. I don't have any Elizabeths. I love the movie, but that doll concept, even though I know that the whole point of the movie was that she looked like Draculaura and they could be identical twins and all of that, I get the plot. I just don't like the way it was executed in a doll. So that's my story. Sorry about that. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear all of your theories about the return of Monster High, and I will see you guys again real soon. I love you and stay well. Bye.